Hey friends, it's Jennifer with the Passionate Papery Company. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I wanted to show you how I use water and alcohol spray with distressed oxide ink to make some beautiful cards. I've had a couple of questions about why I use alcohol when distressed oxide reacts with water, but I'm going to just show you how I use it in this video. It was completely by accident because I keep my water and my alcohol in the same style of bottle, and I just happened to pick one up versus the other. So now I'm going to show you what I learned. So I've stamped some distressed oxide on each card. I have 3 cards here that have already been gessoed. So this first card, I'm going to take just plain water and I'm going to spray onto the stamped image that I stamped onto the card. And you can see that with the water, of course, it reacts. It's going to take that square shape away, and it's going to cause the distressed oxide ink to run quite a bit, and it turns out pretty. I like that. But again, here's what happens when you use the alcohol. When you spray it on there, it allows you to keep the shape of the object, or basically the shape of the object that you stamped. In this case, it's a square. But the alcohol will change the color slightly of the ink, but it will also allow it to bleed and run a little bit off of that image, as you can see here. So the color is a little bit different, but it didn't ruin the image. So now if you use water first and then alcohol spray on top of that, it gives you a totally different effect. So here's the water. Obviously, it's going to make the alcohol run, but you see when I spray it with the distressed oxide how it makes those bubbles. When I spray it with alcohol, how it makes those bigger bubbles. And because the alcohol dries quicker, especially if you're using a heat gun, it keeps the shape sort of if you don't spray it totally out, but it gives a different effect. So you can see here with all 3 cards, I use the same distressed oxide, but different combinations on each card, and they're different. Each one of them are different. They react differently. So this is the first one that I used, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to spray with the alcohol on the water sprayed card, and you can see right away it's going to not change the shape that's already there of the ink, but it is going to lighten that color or change that color and cause it to bleed. Now here I'm going to use water on the alcohol sprayed one, and you see immediately it's going to change the shape of that square, but then when I add the alcohol to it, it's going to make those bubbles react differently on the card. And I don't know how to describe that. Maybe I'm not using the right word, bubbles, but it makes it separate differently, and it also changes the color. So that's why whenever I say in my videos I'm going to use some alcohol spray and water, that's why, because you just never know the effect. So I'm going to start with water on this one, which is the water and alcohol sprayed one that I did originally, and you can see it's just going to make the color that's already there, it's going to cause it to be very runny. But when I add the alcohol to it, it's going to change the color, and because the alcohol dries quicker under the heat, and I guess just the way it reacts, it's going to have a different look to it. And so here I'm just adding more water and more alcohol, and you can see what I mean here about the way it disperses. It just disperses a little bit different. And so now here I'm just using a combination of alcohol and water, not really being picky about what I pick up, because I just like the effect that it has. Now again, these cards are gessoed. It's actually about 4x6 watercolor paper that I've just cut. And so now what I'm going to do is just go back and stamp. These are dry. I've dried them with the heat gun. I'm just going to go back and stamp some more of the same colored ink on the cards and just play around with it. And you'll be able to see that I'm just going to pick up water and alcohol and just spray and just sort of dry it around the card. I'm not really being particular about either one, but I like the effect that they both have. So now, after I've kind of shown the difference between how I use it and how it reacts to it, I'm just going to finish decorating these 3 cards, and so you can just stay along and just kind of see how I decorated them. But I wanted to do a giveaway of these cards because you all have been so kind in your comments and support, and I love it when people ask me questions. Never in a million years did I think that people would be interested in anything that I do like this. I consider myself very amateur, and so but I thought, well, I will do this tutorial and then I will finish decorating these cards, and maybe I would give them in a giveaway to you all. So the rules will be really simple. You just have to be a subscriber of my channel, and this video is going to go up on November the 10th, 2023, and I'm going to draw a winner on November the 24th, 2023. So you'll have to kind of come back and check it out, and I'll put the winners of these 3 cards. I'm going to draw 3 random names out, and the winners of these cards I will put in the top of the description box, and then you can contact me at passionatepaperyco@gmail.com, and I'll get with you and get this card sent to you. And so now you can just see how I use water and alcohol with just one color of Distressed Oxide ink. And so now I'm just using some bleach water. I take just a little tiny drop of bleach and put it in a huge thing of spray bottle water, and I just kind of spray on that, and what that does is takes out some of that color and alters the color, and that's just how I kind of decided to decorate these cards. I'm also taking some more Distressed Oxide ink and rubbing around the edges, and I'm just going to take some more bleach spray, just kind of bleach them out a little bit and dry those up. Now I'm going to take a stencil, and I'm going to take some Liquitex gel medium. I think it's also like modeling paste. I'll try to put the link below. I've had this little bottle for a long time. I don't hardly ever use it. So what I'm going to do is just apply one on one stencil, and I'm just going to lay the cards out together, and I'm just going to put it across all 3 cards at one time. I'm not being picky. So I'm just making sure every little card, all 3 of the cards, get a little bit of the modeling paste or gel medium on there. So now I'm going to take some mica spray and just kind of spray in that yellow color to match with some other mica spray, like a copper color, and just go in and spray with some water and let that modeling paste dry a little bit. So now I'm just taking a sketch pencil. It's like a I don't know, a charcoal pencil, I guess is what you call it. And I'm just going back and just drawing across some details of the cards, just to make them stand out a little bit. You can see the effect that all that have on there. And now I'm just taking the same charcoal pencil, and I'm going back and I'm just hand drawing some mountains on there. I'm from the mountains of North Carolina, and so they're fairly easy for me to draw. So then I'm just going back with some colored pencils and just filling that in. And then I'm going to take some water, because these are watercolor pencils, and just kind of smudge that color out a little bit on each card. And so I made these little pieces of ephemera in a scrap tutorial. I'll link that video below, but now I'm going to use some of these small pieces on there, and I'm going to attach them to the card with glue. I also made some of these small ephemera labels, and I will attach that video as well. And I'm just going to glue those sentiments down onto each one of these cards. And then I'm also going to take another scrap tutorial that I made. I made some little circles, and I'll try to, what I call ephemera circles, and I'll try to link that video as well. But here I'm just picking out 3 of them, and I'm going to attach them down to the card. And I'm taking some thread and just bunching it up and putting it underneath that one circle, and just going to glue all of that down, attach it to the card. And so, as I said earlier, I plan to give these cards away. It'll be in like Happy Mail. You have to be a subscriber of my channel, and I will draw out a random subscriber on November the 24th, 2023. And you'll have to come back. Unfortunately, that's the only way I can get in touch with you. And I'll put your names in the description, and then you can email me, and I'll get with you and send this card to you. So here are the cards. I took them to the sewing machine, and I machine stitched around them, and I've cut the threads. I'm going to ink around the edges, but here are the finished cards, and I think they turned out beautifully. And it was also a chance for me to give you a tutorial kind of how I use distressed oxide ink and alcohol spray with water in different variations. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.